Right now, your child can't tell you what's happening inside their body when they eat. They can't explain hunger. They can't explain fullness. They can't explain why broccoli feels like a threat one night and completely fine the next. They're relying entirely on you to read the signals they can't put into words. And here's what almost nobody tells you. Some of the most common, well-intentioned nutrition habits parents use every single day can actually work against a child's natural ability to understand their own hunger and fullness. I want to say this clearly before we go any further. This is not about neglect. This is not about bad parenting. Millions of loving, attentive, exhausted parents do every single one of these things, often because it's what they were taught, or because it's the fastest way to get through a stressful dinner. By number 6, you'll probably recognize a phrase you said this week without thinking twice about it. This isn't about guilt. This is about understanding what's actually happening at the table. Let's start with number 1. Number 1, finish your plate. You've made dinner, your child eats half, pushes the plate away and says they're done, and something in you says, just a few more bites. Here's the reveal. Your child's body already sent them a fullness signal. When they're repeatedly encouraged to override that signal, they start learning to eat past it instead of trusting it. The mechanism here is interoception, your child's internal sense of their own body. Hunger and fullness cues develop through practice, the same way any other sense does. Every time they eat purely because a plate isn't empty, that signal gets a little quieter. This doesn't mean one clean plate ruins anything. What matters is the pattern over time, not any single meal. A simple shift, let "I'm full" be a complete sentence, even if the plate isn't empty. You can always offer it again later. Number 2, dessert as the reward. 2 more bites of vegetables and you can have your treat. It feels harmless. It's also incredibly common. But the reveal is this. You're accidentally teaching a hierarchy. Vegetables become the obstacle. Dessert becomes the prize. The mechanism is basic associative learning. Kids don't need a lecture to absorb a lesson. They absorb it from the structure of the sentence itself. Eat this to earn that quietly tells them one food is work and the other is the prize worth working for. Again, this is not about one dessert, one deal, one dinner. Patterns, not moments. A small fix that works surprisingly well. Put dessert on the table at the same time as the meal sometimes. No conditions attached. It removes the prize framing entirely. Are you starting to see yourself in a few of these already? Stay with me. The next ones are where it gets interesting. Number 3, labeling foods good and bad. You catch yourself saying it without even thinking. That's a junk food, or that's a good choice, sweetie. It feels like guidance. It feels helpful. Here's the reveal. Kids don't just hear a food description. They hear a moral judgment. And slowly, they start attaching that judgment to themselves. I ate a bad food can quietly become I was bad. The mechanism is how young children process language. Their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for nuance, context, and abstract thinking, is still developing. They take things literally. Good and bad foods can turn into good and bad choices, and eventually good and bad days. One slip of language isn't going to shape a child's relationship with food, but repeated moral framing over years can. A gentle fix. Try swapping good and bad for everyday foods and sometimes foods. Same information, none of the moral weight. Number 4, pressuring a picky eater to just try it. Dinner's on the table. Your child clamps their mouth shut at the sight of something new. You lean in, just one bite, please, for me. The reveal is that pressure, even gentle pressure, tends to increase resistance to new foods rather than reduce it. It turns the food into a small battle instead of a small discovery. The mechanism involves the nervous system. When a child feels pushed, their body can shift into a mild stress response, and stress and appetite genuinely work against each other. A tense body is a less hungry body. This doesn't mean you stop offering new foods. It means the offering matters more than the insisting. A useful fix: repeated low-pressure exposure. The food just quietly appears on the plate again and again. No comments, no negotiations. Familiarity builds appetite far better than pressure does. Number 5. Using food to soothe big emotions. Your toddler is melting down in the grocery store. You hand them a snack, and just like that, calm returns. It works. It always works. So you keep reaching for it. Here's the reveal. Food can absolutely soothe in the moment, but when it becomes the main tool for managing every hard feeling, kids can start associating food with emotional regulation instead of learning other ways to cope. The mechanism ties back to co-regulation, the process by which a child learns to manage their emotions by borrowing calm from a caregiver's nervous system before they can do it alone. Food can substitute for that connection instead of supporting it. One snack during one meltdown changes nothing. The pattern that matters is whether food is the only tool in the toolbox. A small fix. Sometimes offer connection first. A hug, sitting down at their level, and let food be one option among several, not the automatic answer. If any of this is landing a little close to home, that's a good sign, not a bad one. It means you're paying attention. Before we get to number 6, if this kind of thing is useful to you, consider following along here. I've got a follow-up video coming on the exact phrases to use instead of finish your plate. Small swaps, same warmth, better outcomes. Okay, let's keep going. Number 6. Serving portions based on age, not appetite. You've seen the charts. A serving for a 4-year-old is this much, so you plate it exactly that way every time, regardless of how hungry your child actually seems that day. The reveal is that appetite isn't a fixed number. It shifts day to day, based on growth spurts, activity, sleep, even mood. A portion chart can't see any of that. Only your child's body can. The mechanism, again, comes back to interoception. When portions are decided entirely externally, by a chart, by a parent's judgment of enough, the child has fewer chances to practice reading their own hunger and adjusting accordingly. This doesn't mean throw out structure altogether. Structure is good. What matters is leaving a little room inside that structure. A simple fix. Serve a smaller starting portion and let your child ask for more. It shifts the how much decision back toward them just slightly. Number 7. Rushing meals. Between school pickup, activities, and everyone's schedule, dinner sometimes happens in 10 rushed minutes. Fork in, fork out, on to the next thing. Here's the reveal. Fullness signals aren't instant. They take time to register in the brain, meaning a rushed meal can end before the body has even caught up to how full it actually is. The mechanism is the communication delay between the gut and the brain. That signal travels, but it isn't immediate. Eating quickly can outpace it entirely, which is part of why slower meals tend to feel more satisfying, not just physically, but mentally. One rushed Tuesday dinner isn't the issue. It's whether meals are almost always rushed. A doable fix. Even 5 extra minutes at the table with no screens gives that gut-brain signal a chance to catch up. Number 8. Modeling a stressed relationship with your own food. Maybe you comment on your own body at the table. Maybe you say, "I shouldn't be eating this," while reaching for the same food you just served your child. It feels like an aside. It's not. The reveal is that children learn far more from what they watch than what they're told. Your relationship with food is one of the most closely observed things in the house. The mechanism is observational learning. Kids absorb emotional tone before they absorb the words. A parent who narrates guilt around eating is quietly teaching that eating comes with guilt attached, no lecture required. Nobody has a perfectly neutral relationship with food, and that's not the standard here. What matters is the overall tone over time. A gentle fix. When you catch yourself narrating food guilt out loud, try just not narrating it. Ate the thing, say nothing. It's a surprisingly powerful shift. Are you seeing yourself in this one too? Most parents do. This one's almost universal. Two more, and then we'll bring it all together. Number 9, the Clean Plate Club phrase. Wow, look how good you were. You ate everything. It's said with love, it's meant as encouragement, but listen to what it's actually rewarding. The reveal is that this kind of praise ties a child's sense of being good directly to how much they consumed, not to whether they were actually hungry for it. The mechanism is reinforcement learning. Kids repeat what gets them approval. If approval consistently follows an empty plate, they'll learn to chase the empty plate, even past the point their body was asking to stop. One proud comment here and there won't undo anything. It's the steady drumbeat of praise for emptiness that shapes the pattern. A small fix. Praise the sitting together, the trying, the conversation at the table, not the plate itself. Number 10, sneaking vegetables in without ever showing them. Blending spinach into a smoothie, hiding pureed carrots in the pasta sauce. It feels like a clever workaround for a picky eater, and in a pinch, it can genuinely help with nutrition. But here's the reveal. If a child never sees, touches, or tries the actual vegetable, they never build familiarity with it, and familiarity is most of what makes a food feel safe to eat. The mechanism is exposure. Kids need repeated low-stakes contact with the food in its real form, seeing it on the plate, smelling it, touching it, before they're ever likely to willingly eat it on its own. Hiding it skips that whole process. This isn't about banning purees. It's about not relying on them exclusively. A simple fix. Keep sneaking it in if you need to, but also keep the real vegetable visible on the table alongside it. No pressure, just present. So here we are, 10 of them. If you feel a little seen right now, that's not guilt, that's attunement. That's you paying close enough attention to notice. No parent gets every meal right. There's a real concept in child development called the good enough parent from the pediatrician and psychoanalyst D.W. Winnicott. And the idea is simple. Perfection isn't what children need. Repair is. The apology after the rushed dinner, the slower meal tomorrow, the noticing itself, which you're doing right now. You are not failing your child by making some of these mistakes. You're human, raising a human, one meal at a time. If this helped you see something new, send it to another parent who might need to hear it today, not because this channel needs the views, but because they might need the reminder just as much as you did. Take care of yourself at the table too. I'll see you in the next one.